What's good, y'all? It's your boy Danza. Just one of the many faces of the machine known as the Danza Project. Please do me a favor if you rock with us. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn those notifications on. We appreciate you. Salute.
Tell them stop playing with my name, little bitch. I've been in the car, hoes getting rich. Ride around with them soldiers and you know they never miss. No, they never miss. No, they never miss. Tell them stop playing with my name, little bitch. I've been in the cut just minding my own business. But if they want a problem, then I'm down for that shit.
But you could, let me get the music down. Let me get the peace.
You like a sensei.
Hey, sexy lady.
Hey.
It was nice to know you. But I gotta move on.
You look like you could be that nigga brother or some shit like that too. Shout out to Junior, man.
Yeah, man. But yo, look. Yung Berg in the building.
Yes, sir.
Third. A lot of people call you Hitmaka, but I paid attention to the interview, and you are still Yung Berg. Hitmaka is the brand.
Yeah, I mean, shit, call me what you want. You know what I'm saying? Berg. Some people call me Berg. Some people call me Christian. Some people call me Hitmaka. It is what it is. Like, I'm not really caught up into none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm super excited and just like more so that people can call me a variation of different names. Like, you know what I'm saying? That just let me know that like I'm headed in the right direction because the Hitmaka shit, like I really started that like kind of like in a crazy different space, and for it to come to fruition is like really a blessing.
I would imagine you were trying to escape from Berg at that time to create a different brand.
Really no, because like, look, this what the reality of the situation is. Like, I went through trials and tribulations, but at the same token, I was up. You know what I'm saying? So like when the game kind of like turned its back on me, I was still up. So like I was still experiencing and doing all the fly shit. You know what I'm saying? I still lived in a $1 million home. You know what I'm saying? I was still doing everything that wasn't off course to what the perception was. But I think that it kind of clicked for me. When I was just making like mixtapes, you know, like how like as you're an artist, like you kind of like when you don't have label support, you kind of dive in and like, yo, this is that Piff era, this all these hot new hip hop era when all that shit was going crazy, and I was making mixtapes and like the songs were like really good, but they ain't want the shit from me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just not like one of them, like, you know, like how certain niggas would be like, yo, like, I love this music shit. You know, I want to be a rapper, but you know, I play ball on the side, or I do this on the side, or I went to school. Like, nah, I dropped out of school in like 8th grade, and like my life has been music. I don't do this shit like part-time. My whole life is music. So I had no choice to be what it is now.
I mean, the catalog that you got, because we do interviews, right? So we meet people that do dope shit. We meet people that make good music. That catalog that you got to go through to see what Yung Berg / Hitmaka has done it's a long scroll.
Yo, it's fucking me up because my first showing as Yung Berg in the music industry was on Exit Wound soundtrack, a movie that DMX had with Steven Seagal, and I was on the soundtrack. That was in 2001, and I had a song called Dog for Life featuring DMX on that album, excuse me.
And you were how old then?
Like 13, 14.
For life.
Yeah. So it's kind of like.
Does that like predate Bow?
Yeah. But like my name was Iceberg first. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if it predates Bow or whatever, but I think it was like in around the same time, you know, and that came like and added like rivalry between me and Bow. You know what I'm saying? Like I've known Jermaine Dupri from that time and that era when I was DMX's guy, and like everybody wanted to sign me at that point. Jay-Z, shout out to Hov, shout out to Hip Hop, who was a really heavily influential guy over there that was like pulling strings and like trying to see that come to fruition. And not only that, like I'm still cool with Hop to this day. And man, like my life is a fucking movie. Like I'm not even gonna lie, bro.
Yeah. Literally.
And
you started it off with Exit Wounds. It's a movie.
Yo, that's older than some of these niggas that got a hit right now. That shit,
a lot of them.
That's 23 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things I was thinking about. I'm like, how old is he? Because I remember I'm telling you, man, like, you know how many times you know how the parties were, right? Like,
yeah.
Hey, sexy lady.
Smash.
Like I'm telling you, that was one of the greatest songs ever. And to know now, because paying attention of everything that you've done, we only get the idea as a fan when we're younger,
right.
That's that artist's words, and he wrote that part, and he put that part in there. But to hear you say you wrote and produced the entire thing, wow.
So like, this what the funny part is. Like, we were really like young kids. So the guy that made the beat to Sexy Lady, his name is Rob Holiday. He's an amazing producer. He's went on to produce a bunch of different records for a bunch of people in the game. He signed on my publishing company, Make a Sound Productions. Shout out to my partner, Chris Sean. So in reality, right, I literally was running around with like Jay Irvin. I don't know if y'all like Dr. J's son and fucking Troy Carter and all these people in Philadelphia, because Eve took a huge liking to me, and I was around them, and they managed Eve at the time, and I was given a beat CD, and like fucking the nigga Beats was on the CD, and I was a kid in high school that dropped out of high school that had a crib in LA, and fucking they gave me the beat CD. I didn't know this nigga from nothing, from a can of paint. He had his number on his shit. I called the nigga. He was still in high school. I'm like, yo, drop out of high school and come move into my I never met him a day in my life. His beats were that good. I'm like, yo, bro, leave school and come move in with me in LA. And he literally dropped out of school and moved in with me in LA. And our first song we did was Sexy Lady. He moved in with me in like 2016. He dropped out of school. And wait, hold on, excuse me, not 16, 2006. And then 2007 we had the record deal.
That's fire.
Yeah, like
that's dope. That's like, you know what it is to tell your homie to or somebody you really don't know.
No, I've never met the nigga a day in my life.
Drop out of school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his family had to be like disappointed in him for a while.
See, I think that God put certain people in your life. Like he was someone similar to me, to where it's like back in the day when you really loved this music shit, and I think that we all like similar in age, like you were like into it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really like, it was a lifestyle. It was everything. It wasn't something that was just like so accessible. And like you had to work extra hard to really get seen by the masses, because there wasn't really no internet, no Twitter, no Instagram. There
was no distraction.
Shit, you know what I'm saying? So you had to get right to it and really be all in. And he made a choice to just, like I said, fuck school, nigga, and shit. He a rich man right now, still to this day. He done produced so many records.
We also got our ass whipped around those times. So you know what I mean?
They gotta bring
like,
that back too.
Yeah, word. But like, so dropping out of school was one of them joints too. Like you had to worry about, damn. But Kato was goody.
What they do, my boy? I'm just
I damn near going back to high school right now. I was like, you know what? I forgot Kato's here. What's goody, my boy?
We in the bills, baby.
We got a story about you though, because you got like one of them, you know, pop your collar type pictures. You know what I mean?
I'm rocking Vans, sunglasses at night. I had the backwards Miami Heat snapback joint.
What was that
Skinny
about?
jeans on.
Let the people know.
So
what
actually,
you had
shout out my boy Whitey the Best, producer down here. He got a studio down here, M4 Studios, I believe. Super well known, and he was working with my man.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yo, Kato, you want to come through and shoot a video with Yung Berg?" I said, "Word, yeah, no doubt. Let me go get dressed. Let me go grab my Vans real quick and go down to the studio shooting." And we was down there on South Beach. I remember we had it was by like the lifeguard stand or something like that. Frankie Diamonds was out there. My boy,
shout out Frankie Diamonds.
That boy Fresh was out there.
You know what's crazy? Edgar Esteves was directing all of my videos back then, or whatever, around that time. And shout out to Edgar, like he's went on to be like one of the greats. You know what I'm saying? From Miami, like he shot everybody video. And I mean, my brother Jordan Hollywood introduced me to Edgar Esteves, excuse me. So like that was just like a crazy era in time. That was like the Bryant McKinney era of my life.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Shout out Bryant McKinney.
Bryant McKinney, like the
football player.
Yeah, the offensive lineman for the Vikings.
Yeah.
He's everywhere down here. That boy get around.
I'm talking about he's blowing the bag legendary. Like I'm talking about legend.
15, 20, 30 deep, anywhere, everywhere.
Legend.
I was never, you know, I ain't come up here, so I don't know about that lifestyle. I just had the visits out here, which were pretty dope. Well, you know what I mean? Which what we like to do with the people that we have come up here is, maybe it ain't different than everybody, right? But I feel like I want to become a fan again.
Okay.
I want to know what you went through from the come up from the beginning. So I've heard you talk about being rich, right? Coming up rich, having the range, you know what I mean? Getting to that. And I heard you had rich parents, but I didn't really hear about your parents.
Well, shit. For me, my parents, I was one of them kids that got like a different like upbringing. And I think that it kind of like affects who I am as a grown adult right now. So pretty much, my mom and my dad, they were locked in. They were very successful. So I lived in the suburbs like for a majority of my life. You know what I'm saying?
This is
like,
in California?
Chicago,
Okay.
south side of Chicago, and Homewood, Flossmoor. And so I was out there and I was living, and then my parents got divorced, and my dad was a real estate guy, and he was more so developing like houses and apartment buildings inside the inner city of Chicago or whatever. So when they got a divorce, I took the actual like left, like you know how the fork in the road goes and certain people go right. I went left. I went and lived with my dad, and my dad raised me from probably like fifth grade, you know what I'm saying, until being an adult right now. My dad's still my business manager in my career right now. So it's just a different upbringing, you know what I'm saying? Like when you live with your dad and then you're not, most niggas go like stay with their mom, you know what I'm saying? Just because of circumstances. So I was blessed to be in that. And like my dad is like super like, I would call him like the George Jefferson of South Side of Chicago, you know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Like he was the director of Chicago Public Schools for like several years, and like, man, the nigga was the big dog in Chicago Public Schools, and I feel bad because like I was a bad kid growing up, like getting kicked out of schools, doing all the dumb shit or whatever, but he was a real estate genius, you know, and he led me into being like one of the same, and now we got a great real estate company together, and we still flourish and continue to go on to this day. And my mom, I'm not as close to my mom, you know, and I feel bad about that, but I don't know. It's just like, you know, it just is what it is.
We feel bad. Why?
Because it's survivor's remorse. You know, when you're successful and like you got a bunch of shit going on or whatever, and like you don't have that established relationship with your, like, I was in a game at a very young age. So with that being said, like, you're not around your parents like that, you know? So like, I just have the old memories of my mom, the junior high school memories or whatever. But as far as like being like a teenager to adult, I was raised by my dad, and we didn't really spend much time together.
Was that tough for you initially, or did you kind of you were already in your like, you know, testosterone era where it was just like, I don't need mom?
Not really that, but I just been in my bag and just been driven by music my whole career. Like I started off with this shit being groomed by like the greatest people from Chicago. And I want to shout out No ID, Bugs, Kanye, Ice Drake. It's just a lot of niggas that was from Chicago. That was just like the fabric of it. Like literally niggas don't understand because like I'm a tier age older. And like I remember Lil Durk when he was like a kid, like literally from being like one block away from me, where I was like the rapper nigga that was on 72nd and Halsted or whatever. So like this is just reality to what it is. Like I've lived and breathed this music shit my whole life.
Yeah. Who gave you the skill in the music? Was it mom or dad? Yeah, but I'm guessing it was dad.
Well, I'm thinking no. I think my mom like put the R&B bug inside of me, pause, like very early from Anita Baker, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom was one of them that would be like playing these songs while she dropped me off at school and like have like vibes with her friends or whatever. So I know all these different records. But as far as like musically, Shawnna from Disturbing and Peace was my next door neighbor when we lived in the suburbs. Her dad is Buddy Guy, the blues legend. And Ice Drake is her brother. And she was like doing her thing with Infamous Syndicate, and she was like doing her thing with Ludacris. And she made it seem like it was possible, you know? And she was my next door neighbor, and that kind of groomed me from where I'm going to right now.
That's dope.
Yeah, she could do it. That's my neighbor.
Literally.
How I get in? Let's go.
And they was balling, like indoor pool, outdoor pool, like they was balling, but from the jump, because her dad is Buddy Guy, like one of the biggest blues musicians ever. But at the same token,
indoor pool.
Yeah, Ray J moves early.
Yeah.
I seen that before I ever met Ray J in my life. Shout out to Ray. It's my brother.
Word. I didn't know Shawnna was from there.
Chicago, yeah, Southside.
You, what was it like because I did music, right? And so I think it is the most nostalgic moments whenever I think back to right before this show. I called up one of my homies, Mark, and I was talking to him, and that brought me back to the days where I was making music as a kid, right? And those were the most nostalgic feelings, like where the studio was, how you had it set up. How did it start for you with like the music creating process? Was it through writing, recording, listening to somebody else? How'd that go?
The funny part is that like before I got to the space that I am now and just being like in a super like forefront and bossed up space, like my method was to get beats and just go and write the song prior. So even when bro said he was first interacting with me and we first met or whatever and around Frankie Diamonds, like I used to go back to my condo and write the songs, like get a bottle of Ciroc and like roll up some blunts and just write songs. Like that would be like my night. Like, yo, I'm gonna go play these beats, you know what I'm saying, and write that. So the process for me early on was just to stack as many songs early and then go to the studio and record them.
That's dope.
Hell yeah.
Because it just like, I'd imagine you could tap in anytime you hear one of these songs. It's just like it brings you right back to that moment in time.
Yeah, we was talking about that shit from 2001. I'll never forget, like, yo, like DMX, man, when I signed an X, like I had a bidding war going on with like everybody in the game. Like I probably had like 13 deals at the time. And fucking I ended up going with X and we were in Toronto, Canada, and he was doing the Exit Wound soundtrack. And like one of my most famous memories is when that nobody touched the dog when the dog go to sleep vibe. So like we in a studio, DMX does a song with Irv Gotti, and we left the weed at the hotel. Like I'm back, I'm a kid, like I'm 13, like I'm smoking, like we smoking out the pound. Yeah. So like X sends the police, literally the Toronto police back to the hotel. The hotel is called the Sutton Place. I don't know if it's still there to this day. And they sent them back. They got the pound of weed, brought it back to the studio. I saw X drink a whole fifth of Remy, Grand Cru, VSOP by himself. Like no, he used to call it blood. He used to mix the red Alizé with the Henny, and the Remy, excuse me, and call it blood. And so they did that, or excuse me, he did that, and he did a song. And I'll never forget it. I was with his wife at the time, Tashira. Ali, a bunch of people that was like a part of his team at the time, and fucking the nigga went to the Benz and we didn't have the key to the car, and somebody left the key to the car and the nigga just like laid down and like went to sleep in front of the Benz. No, like dead ass, like dead ass sleep, nigga, on the concrete, like nigga on the concrete, like the car is parked, he's on the curb on the concrete, sleep like a dog, like snoring, making a little dog. That's my man too.
Yeah.
Blood. I swear, he was making all the.
Hey, yo, dog.
Look, and we sat there for hours because the rule was nobody wakes up the dog when he sleep.
Yeah.
Can't make this shit up.
Ain't no argument.
Right. I was gonna ask you about an X story, but there we go. Okay. You know what I mean? That's a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
X is, for me, one of the legends. One of the dopest things X has ever said. I ain't understand it at first. Mm-hmm. He said, it was a interview in a magazine, because back in the day when you wanted to see an interview with somebody, it was a magazine. Right. Mm-hmm. And he said, they asked who he listened to. He said, myself. I don't got time to listen to nobody else. You know what I mean? And when you think about that, at first I'm like, doesn't make sense, he's lying. You know, as I grew up in life, and even doing this podcast today, I'm like, I don't really listen to other podcasts. Some people take it as like I'm dissing them or anything. I have. And if people send me clips, I do. But right now I'm in my own lane. Right. Who did you listen to coming up?
Coming up or now?
Coming up and now.
Coming up, shit. I think that like probably my biggest influences were more so like stuff that Jermaine Dupri was doing, stuff that Kanye was doing, stuff that Pharrell was doing. You know, just all these different people or whatever, like the normal era of that generation. I'm a 106 in Park, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm the whole thing. Right now, I don't listen to shit but me, because I go to the studio every day and just make songs, and I'm usually riding the car playing the demo or the record that we did the previous night before, which turns into somebody else's song, which I don't listen to when the song comes out as well. So like, it's just a vicious cycle of just like being so like, it would be like explaining like, you might listen to this podcast before we put it out, but once it's out, you might not go back to listen to it because you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because your next podcast is on the way and you're prepping for that, and that's what it is. So it's the same shit with me as a producer.
And you lived it too. So it's like, all right, I can't stay here. Let's move the ball, you know what I mean?
And I'm scared though, honestly, because I'm gonna be honest. Like, man, like I never thought the day would like turn it like they back on Drake. So it's like, if they could turn they back on Drake,
nobody saves.
It's only for a few.
Right. I don't give a fuck. I'm in this bitch every day. As many people as he put on, and nobody went to bat for him. Like he put on so many different people. Nobody stood up for him. It wasn't even one little crazy nigga that was just going crazy like, fuck these niggas. Da, 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 da. It was none of that. And like, I watched him put on so many different people. And like, so I just took that. And I heard Jimmy Iovine say something that was super influential to me on the Defiant Ones. He was saying that how he used something as a tailwind. I use fear as a tailwind for my boat or my yacht that I'm sailing through it, which I call my career. So fear of the bottom, fear of certain different things. I don't fear it personally because as a man, I'm very like comfortable in the space that I'm in right now. But just like knowing where I was at Yung Berg and like watch the game change on me and have to rebuild the Hitmaker and seeing the shit with Drake or seeing anything with anybody or whatever, I just use it as motivation. And that is just like the ultimate fuel for me. It's like the Don Julio to my drunk night.
Hitmaker.
From fear to fuel. Fear to fuel.
I tell you what, I saw a post today. And the post said, I found out a way with my engineer how to make music with high quality through the phone. So everybody be ready.
Shit.
I'm about to start releasing music.
Yes, sir.
Through the phone.
And it's the one person I think will crash out over Drake. And that's Tory Lanez. You're talking about the Canada.
Yeah, I fuck with Tory.
Talking about Toronto. And there's one person that I like. I fuck with Tory heavy, and he could rap.
Yeah.
And it would be very interesting to hear what this man behind the walls are sitting there saying. If he jumps into this and he starts dissing, I think it's a very interesting.
I'm gonna keep it an interesting story. Like I would, if I was on Tory's team, I wouldn't be on that. Like I would just be like, man, bro, he gotta ultimately, I love women. I love everything. I don't want to get into no sticky spot. You know what I'm saying? Pause with all this other bullshit that's going on. But like, I think he's one of the most like talented people.
Me too.
And with that being said, instead of like shooting his shot behind a wall, I will wait till he does everything and that he's supposed to do, and then maybe when he free, you know what I'm saying? Because it could affect his case. You never know how they playing with this shit right now. You know, we see what's up, Free Thug, Free Lucci. We see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't no street nigga, but like I get to view it and see what's going on. You know, so they get to playing different type of games. You know what I'm saying? And freedom of speech is definitely not freedom of speech at this point.
Facts.
Not with pending charges.
Yeah, you're right. It changes everything.
For sure.
Smart.
You're right, though, and it would be highly anticipated, too, if staying silent throughout this, getting through this, and then rapping and dropping all kinds of shit.
Come home, my brother. Come home, man. The hoes miss you. You know, Miami, on Wednesday, they got a little bowling party. We here on a Wednesday right now. We should be at the Kingpin.
What time does it close?
It's a late night.
I'm not opposed.
Now hit you with the,
But nonetheless, I do want to see somebody like Tory Lanez jump in because I feel like I'm a Drake fan.
Yeah.
I maybe got 20 or 30 historic episodes where I talk shit about Drake. But when I'm comparing Drake and Kendrick, I'm a Drake fan, and I like the music that Drake puts out. He just had that. I don't know if y'all saw Kai Cenat had posted that.
I don't like that.
You didn't like that track? Oh man, I thought that track sounded hard. But
that ain't. Well, respectfully, I don't know if that's something that he personally released or something like that, or that was just something that was just around.
For the boys.
But until he tells me, like, I'm such a fan, until he tells me, like, this is my official release or whatever, I don't take nothing serious.
It could be a feeler, though. It could be test the temperature, put it to the
It's a
streamers.
feature record. I think whatever he does drop, inevitably is going to be him.
But maybe it's a feeler.
Was it a feature?
Yeah, because it had Lil Yachty on it.
Or was Yachty the feature? Was it a his song or feature?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is,
it was a
I don't
collaboration.
Think,
It
yeah, I don't
wasn't
think,
like
I don't
a
think
statement
whatever
record.
he does to drop, because he is going to do his summer season, right? Like he's going to have fun. He did the Camila Cabello. He's going to have fun. Drake's going to do his summer music because he claimed it, right? He said that I'm in my summer season, so I don't think he's going to.
Personally, for me, I don't really want to see him like as a fan. I would prefer. This is just a fan of me speaking. It's not like
But this is what we want to hear because it's not a regular fan right now.
This is a fan of me. I would prefer for to stop with the one-offs. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even the features too or whatever. Unless it was something that was going to be like super impactful. I know you got relationships and prior things or whatever that's going on, but for me, I would preferably want something like this is like, you know, like he's never had his back against the wall in his career. So I would like a defining moment type of shit. You know, as the fan in me, I could get like in reality, this nigga's a fucking billionaire. He don't give a fuck what I'm talking about right here with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But he might care and he might not care. Like to me, if I was Drake, I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. I just told the whole industry to suck my dick. Like I would have stopped. I've been like, what the fuck? I'll pop out when I want to pop out. Won't be no leaks.
You feel like you can relate to what he's going through based on all what you went through?
Most definitely, but in the reality, like nigga, like to me, it was like we have a lot of similarities, you know. But at the same token, and when you win at the game of life, like man, like if we looking at the shit like Monopoly, like he won at the game of life. What does he not have access to? What does he not have liquid that he can get accomplished or whatever? Like now we just playing for bragging rights. And to me, like man, at that point, it's just like man, fuck y'all niggas. Yeah, like I'd have been like done with it. Like to me, I'd have been like Jay-Z. I would have never been no quitter. In fact, if I'm him, I drop this last defining moment vibe and then just be like, all right, see y'all in a minute. I'll pop back out when y'all niggas appreciate what it is. When I want to. But you never know what drop. I believe that Drake is similar to me. When I say we similar, I think he uses like the hate and the fear and everything as a tailwind as well. Like he uses that as something when you think about like how he's saying like, yo, everything they're using against him, biracial. He's not from Canada. He's from, you know what I'm saying? Like all the things that are against him, I think he uses that as like a pushing force in everything you do. But the disappointing kind of thing to me is that he put so many people on and nobody really like stood up.
Yeah, I think people will be scared in the industry. We find out how fickle this shit is, and I try to. Like, I fuck with people in the industry, right. You know what I mean, that, like, fuck with me. But you know what it is. At this age, we know what it is when you talk to somebody and they're, like, but at a younger age, you know, we might hear somebody speak to us once or twice and be like, oh, they fuck with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But nowadays, we know, like, I'm going to size you up a little bit more than just this one motherfucking conversation that we had. I got to see if you're really about that or if you really give a fuck about me before I start telling you real shit.
Well, ain't self-preservation the key through everything? Yeah. Like when you reach a certain level to where like you got a family and you got shit going on and you got your own career, like it's gonna be certain people that stand up like that for you and certain people that don't, like, you know.
So you feel like that was the biggest letdown when you think about that entire beef?
Of course. Wasn't it to everybody? Look how the West Coast rallied around Kendrick. Even people that Drake has collaborated with, that they show unity into a coast. Like it was a moment for the coast. And due to the fact that Drake being more so just like the nigga that's like the golden child, just like coming like, you get a verse, you get a hit, you get a hit, you get a hit. I think that the relationship to the other people wasn't as tied in and I'm just speaking very vaguely because I can't imagine what these people's relationships are. But in reality, it's just more so like it's just fuck shit.
You know what the main problem is?
What? Hoes?
People like you. Hey, sexy lady. I'm gonna say that all episode, right?
You a light skinned nigga too.
No, but
like, yo,
people like me.
And I'm way darker than you. I'm a dark nigga compared to you. Like for real. Like you. So we know how you playing. Like,
No, I'm not leaving myself exempt from this shit. But when people talk about that and they say that, hey, there could be this possibility, because it seems like some of these journalists are corny as fuck.
Right.
All right,
a lot.
Some of them. I talked to a few of them. I fuck with them heavy. Like there's some cool people in the industry.
Who's a journalist though? Like, because the clarity on who's a journalist and who's a podcaster and who's a this is kind of crazy to me.
I'll put it this way: a journalist studies the game. They get way too analytical, and it's almost like there's no human side.
Who's a journalist? See, look, you want me to go viral. I want you to go, name a fucking journalist, yo. Like, come on, Danza, cut it out.
Elliot Wilson.
Okay, he's a journalist.
Elliot
I think
Wilson
that Elliot Wilson
absolutely.
is a journalist too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I think he wear a bunch of different hats or whatever. But he started from XXL. He's like Source and all that other shit. From
Elliot
editorial.
Wilson is a nerd in the game.
Yeah.
He's a super nerd.
He might tell you
but he has a lot of information. Right, these stories that he's saying, they got some truth to it.
The funny thing is that, like, to me, it's like I think Elliot Wilson is a legend, right?
He's
and
definitely
I think
a
he's
legend.
dope. But I think that because he's older and the way he presents himself and shit like that, like young niggas and people like don't look at him like he fly.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
like his presentation is somewhat of a older executive that we might have been, you know what I'm saying, bear witness to. And I think that there's a lot of older niggas that fly. Like Joe is fucking 43, 40, whatever the fuck his age is or whatever. And he paddock, you know what I'm saying? Like he put it together the way it's supposed to be done.
Joe dressed kind of weird though.
That's what they say about him.
Yeah,
But
I see. I've been a Joe fan my whole life, so I can say it. I was just talking to Tax the other day.
Yeah.
And I was.
But all right, so here go. Tax is 40 some years old too.
Yeah.
So like, but Tax is Tax. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And shout out to Tax. Shout out, you free my brother Tax Stone or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We talk on the daily. You know what I'm saying? He always hit me in a DM. But and the funny part is he like hit me like, yo, I want to do this Spaces. I want you to come through. Blah blah blah. And on a DM, I'm like, nigga, they hacked my Twitter. I don't even know what the fuck is going on. They hacked me up or whatever. I don't even got a Twitter no more to even do that shit. But shout out to Tax.
You know why they hacked your Twitter?
Why?
Light skin.
but in defense of Joe, I will say this the freshest he ever been.
Yeah, but he be wearing some weird shit.
But this the freshest he ever been. I'm gonna give him that.
But that's his forte.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
hate
even with him like saying like, yo, I'm fly and I'm flea, but I don't even know how to dress. Like, you know what I'm saying? He embraces all that other shit. And not only that, like, I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. Joe is like, he number one.
Yeah.
He number one.
He is. He's the best in the game. And it's funny because when I was talking to Tax, I'm like, look, I'm gonna say this because ain't no other way to say it but the people be honest, because I am a huge Joe Budden fan.
Right.
He probably had so much more of an influence than I could even admit on me getting into podcasting, right? Because when he was doing podcasting, they were saying, podcast Joe, oh, you a podcaster. You know, he's one of the first people to take it digital. You know, Amalgam Digital, when he signed, he always said it's going to go digital.
He was early on
that. I know goddamn every lyric to his motherfucking tracks. You know what I mean? I was a mood music nerd.
Right. But you light skinned, so as a podcaster, you still got that chip on your shoulder. Like, academics number one. It ain't you. Academics number one.
Nah, I'm a Joe fan. I'm still a Joe fan.
Shout out to Act. Shout out to Big Act. That's my brother too.
Yeah, shout out to Act.
You said earlier, let's kind of define the difference between a podcaster and a journalist or journalism in general. I think it's a little bit more wide open as far as the qualifications for what a journalist is. You don't have to be classically trained where you went and did editorials and you were in the college newspaper and all that stuff. But I think it's if you're doing due diligence on a constant and consistent basis, if you're offering opinions that aren't necessarily swayed to any one side, every now and then, sure, pick a favorite. Put in your token, put in your opinion. You got to have personality, but you also got to be able to present a non-biased opinion as far as what's really dope, what's really popping, and what's really not. If you can't do that, I don't want your opinion. Like the news, they talk about this on the news. It's very opinionated. It's not non-biased facts. So I can make my opinion. I think as far as you being a journalist versus a streamer or a podcaster or a YouTuber or whatever these accounts are, it's being able to present facts. This is what happened. This is how it really is. Like, this is the fact. This is what we're looking at. And y'all take y'all own opinion. Make of it what you will.
It's all bullshit. Like, for real. Let me just keep it a bean. Like, it's all like, it's like a producer, beat maker. Like, you know what I'm saying? For me and where I'm doing or whatever and what I got going on. It's all fuck shit. But the reality of the whole situation is that it's literally based off on who you respect, who the marketing has their attention to. And then the deepest part of the whole shit is that it's like, who's selling it the best?
Yeah.
Like who got that blue magic on the street?
That's the
He
part
don't
that
got
matter.
nothing to do with none of that shit. Like, bro, like the presentation is what the presentation is. We all have Instagram, we all have YouTube, we all have these different platforms, but who's selling it the best? Like, just like a fucking Sexy Red. She's selling it better than these bitches. For better or for worse or whatever, it's leading the shit, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure there's a fucking prolific female rapper somewhere writing and fucking eating her Cheerios like how Jay-Z explained in a fucking documentary, like there's a nigga waiting to take me out. But she can get on stage and, ooh, baby. Off key, do the whole shit.
I was about to mention
Nigga,
that.
and every girl be in there and be like, fucking with this.
Yeah.
So,
Girl, I love you.
Yeah.
You my everything.
and I'm gonna be honest with you. Without her being who she is, and you present it a different way, and you heard that song without Sexy Red being attached to it,
Cheeks.
there you go.
Yeah.
So that's why I just told y'all it's about presentation.
Yeah.
It's about how everything come into play.
The first time I heard it, because I think is that the one with Drake?
Yeah, it is. And nobody even gives a fuck about Drake's verse on that shit.
So the first time I heard
that's the first time I ever heard that.
but it's true.
I know. That's the first time that's happened.
Hell yeah.
Nobody cares about the Drake verse on that record.
Yeah.
Nobody.
That's also Kendrick
Let me be
Lamar's
honest with you. No, it don't got nothing to do with that. She's such a polarizing figure that he knows that. That's why he lent his services to her overly.
Yeah.
Because he like her. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see somebody
She's
that
got a
come
great
in that's
personality.
authentic, yeah, I know her. I've been around her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree.
Let me get cocky for a minute. I feel like that's why I fuck with what I do.
For sure.
Right? I feel like I fuck what I do fuck with what I do because I don't give a fuck about most of the shit, right? Like I'm motherfucker, I'm in here talking to fucking Hitmaka, Yung Berg. Like, I'm good. Right? I don't need, I say this before and people came at me and I took it into consideration. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't need YouTube money.
Right.
I do shit outside of YouTube to make money. So this shit has become such a fucking dope thing for me to do. So when I'm talking to people, it's not about bias or what I thought about back in the day.
Facts.
It's about, yo, you're killing it with what you're doing at life. If I could step out of my box a little bit to learn something about what you're doing, right? Like you're talking about real estate and shit like that. And I sit here and I'm listening to you. I'm like, damn, with all the success that you have in music, that's not even enough for you. You still going out there and getting it. That to me is motivational. I could wake up tomorrow motivated like a motherfucker, sit there and be like, yo, I was just sitting there yesterday talking to Hitmaka and fucking, man, I'm about to get in this real estate game. You know what I mean? For me, that shit, the moments that are created here are dope enough so I could have organic conversation. I don't want to do too much research, right? I pay attention. I'll tap in. I'll see what's going on, what's current, what's moving with your life and everything. But for the most part, it's like, I want to meet you.
Yeah, like I think that we some of God's favorites, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Certain people just got God's favor on their life. And like the other people that's watching and spectating, they can do anything and they can feel how they want to feel. The biggest like lesson I learned, man, and I think that God really put the favor on me to even be in this position is that you can't be a public figure and give a fuck about what the public got to say.
Yeah.
Ain't that funny?
Like, how the fuck are we public figures? We own podcasts every day. We in the news. I done been viral for the last 6 weeks every week. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, why would I give a fuck about what somebody else say? I think I just went viral and they said that I was a colorist because I said that I was gonna nut inside a girl and she was gonna have a green eye and blonde hair baby. And I'm sitting in front of you with a fucking face full of facial hair with blonde hair and green eyes, and they like, this nigga. This nigga hair is black. So,
how dare he?
Like, come on, like you can't. I'm in my villain era too. I just don't give a fuck. Financial freedom just give you a whole nother way. It's just like, man, fuck niggas. Like, I'm up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's over. Like, you know,
congratulations to you for being there, my boy.
Yeah, you earned that, bro.
And I'm telling you though, like y'all niggas, like to me more so like I think it's like dope because every time I saw somebody that was like doing dope shit, like on my come up, you know what I'm saying? Or even in like my early age or whatever, I think it was on us and like we cut from that era just to be like saluted and take what we could take from that person and apply it to our life. You know what I'm saying? Like now I just feel like the whole wave is just to be like, fuck that nigga. He ain't shit. Da, 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 da. The whole world operates off negativity at this point. Like, I could go out here and be like, yo, the Danza Project is my favorite motherfucking podcast, and this, that, and third, da, da, da. I had the greatest interview on it, and then motherfucker be like, okay, few thousand likes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whatever. I go and say, man, fuck Danza Project. Eat a dick. I know y'all niggas since YD the best, you pussy ass niggas. We up. We viral.
Yeah. Take that clip.
Yeah. So it's
get that shit out early.
It's fucked up out here, bro.
That is kind of ass backwards, man.
But you know what it is these phones, man, they be fucking people up. When you were talking about earlier about music and love for music, when we were making music, this shit couldn't distract us. Yeah. Because it might have been after your minutes ran out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like by the time you're sitting there writing the music on the composition notebook because they ain't the clicking on here to write a verse, you would have had to text it to somebody first of all, and it was 3 clicks for C. You know, it's C, 1A. Right. You know what I mean? Like to write on a phone was crazy. You know what I mean? We actually got the essence of it. We got to listen to the...
Boy, we had party line and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't no clubhouse and nothing like that. You got to get on a party line with a bitch or something like that.
Who in this bitch?
Yo, and to me, it's like, if you a hater, you just a hater. Like, I'm looking at Instagram for, like, women.
Word.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just looking at fine women all day trying to get inspired. Maybe I write a song about something I see a girl doing or something like that. I'm not like, I damn near got niggas on mute. Like, I follow a bunch of niggas, like, you know what I'm saying? My homies and that shit, but like, I damn near got them on mute. Like, not in a bad way, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I'm just looking for vibes.
Yeah.
Like,
word.
It's an inspiration.
Listen, my relationship has gotten me away from all that, right? Like I got my girl's Colombian and Venezuelan.
She gonna kill you.
Yeah. I can't even follow women on the page. It's like I gotta be like, Kato. God damn it. You can't just follow.
You can't follow no joints.
Nah, it's terrifying.
I think that's interesting.
I got two babies, you know what I mean? I be trying to avoid all the bullshit and the arguing and shit like that.
But even if you don't follow, you still lurk.
You can still see, right?
Yeah,
Always.
Like, it ain't even like,
but it's, look, I'm a grown ass man,
Yeah.
and I be talking to her all the time. I'm like, look, like life is life. Like if I want to look, I'm gonna look. Like it is what it is. You can't tell me.
So you at the point to where it's like, Black and Spanish men don't cheat. It's up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you
we ain't never cheated a day in our goddamn life.
So you don't believe that men just are supposed to conquer the world?
I do believe that men are supposed to conquer. We got Charleston White up here too goddamn much for me not to believe that.
Shout out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, see that.
Shout out.
So your girl cool with you, like sleeping with other women?
Hell no.
I bet.
You know what? I say this though, and she's gonna kill me for this shit. But
Kick down that door.
I be like, are you a Leo?
No, I'm a Virgo.
Virgo? Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm not a horoscope person. I was saying that because you did say you were about to you were turning whatever age soon. Yeah. But like for me, I be telling her all the time, like if that was the case, and I ain't trying to say it is, but I keep it real. I'm not a simple person to just walk away from. Like, let's say if I did want to cheat and fuck other bitches, I'm not a simple person just to walk away from because I hold it down. And that, like, to some, they might hear that and they think like, oh, he's too cocky or whatever. But I do my thing. Right? Like, I hold her down. I hold my kids down.
Would you have threesomes with your main girl?
If she allowed it.
I'm scared of that.
Yeah. If she allowed it, but I never.
I'm scared of that. Because, like, once you let me know that you like women as much as I do, his shit is up.
The way I look at it is if my the way
you
I
could
look,
never call me out like this bitch is fine. Like, this is somebody that she would entertain with the shits. Yeah.
I look at it this way, right? Like I'm down to have a good time with my woman. So if she was down for some shit like that, you know what I mean? I'd be like, baby, let's go.
Me too. I mean, threesomes are bonding, right? You don't feel like that? Like,
that shit is
I'm squared up. I ain't fucking nobody but my main girl. I'm straight. I got a whole, like, I look at you like fucking, like I looked at my grandma. Like the same level of respect that I looked at my grandmother, like she was not available for nobody. She held the house
Definitely
down.
had to clarify that.
You know?
Yeah. You know how you did. Yeah. I was hoping you did.
I hate 2024.
Yeah, me too.
But at the same token, in reality, like I want to look at my wife as just someone that's just like untouchable. Like just like
facts.
I feel you, but me and my man, we smash something. High fives everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
What you saying? Like on a vacate, not at the crib. Like
I'm gonna keep it 100 though. I'm gonna keep it 100. I ain't never have a threesome. Not once. Not once. I never had that. I always been wifed up. Always had a joint, right? And it was never accepted. So I never.
What about you, bro?
In my experience,
okay,
it's a trap. Cause if anything ever comes up where there's any bit of doubt or suspicion or, you know, oh, you were texting this and you like this picture, it goes back to that one night and you had her legs up and you were looking at her for 2 seconds longer than you looked at me and you like that shit. I know you like that shit.
I'd be like, it was just a friendly game of Twister. We had a good time.
This what the real deal is, though. We cut from that era to where threesomes were like, they was just getting in style. Like, they was just going crazy. Now, like, the girls is like, I've experienced situations to where, like, an artist that's like a super famous artist, a female artist, would be like, yo, I got a nigga, but if I go out with my girls and I fuck my girl and I leave playa and, like, I'm eating pussy and we doing this, that, and the third, nigga, it just happened. That's not cheating. This, that, and the third or whatever. But to me, it's kind of like, when I had my threesomes, a bulk of them, the woman the woman wanted to do it for me because she felt like she wasn't really gay. Like, she wasn't into women like that. She felt like she was doing something to basically say, you shouldn't have to cheat because I'll do this with you. And I don't think that that's a fulfilling threesome.
I would probably lose interest.
Yeah, bitch pinching me on my ass while I'm tearing up, praying up. Yeah, it's that type of vibe.
You know,
I would.
It's also,
I would lose interest in my girl if she was like that.
You ain't gonna see it the same way.
Yeah.
No, but every time you possibly could get a threesome, the girl is more than likely doing it. If she's not fully into women, she's doing it because it's like overcompensating. It's like fucking football players overspending money because they don't. It's like athletes spending money. And a bitch would go back and tell you, well, I was just dealing with such and such and he spent this type of money on me. It's like, bitch, he don't want to talk to you. Like, he got motherfucking a whole nother life. He don't want to talk to you. He gave you some money because he only want to talk to your dumb ass.
You fell for it. Now you telling me about it.
So it's overcompensation.
So I know back then you had a very viral statement of saying, I don't do dark butts.
I don't, yeah.
You gonna put them back in the colorist box, you know?
Yeah.
Come back, new week.
How you feel about that these days?
So, in reality, right, when like I told you, I was on early in my career. I feel like a fucking asshole and an idiot for even saying that.
Yeah.
Because I was someone that was like led by an OG and a big homie. And that was slang that was used inside of, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was something that was kind of like poured into the hood, or you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody that was a big person, and that was something that led to bleed out. But like, I don't even believe that. Like, let the internet tell it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've dated some of the most dark skinned women in fucking in the game right now. So like, that doesn't make sense. But like, it's unfortunate that it's something like that'll follow you around, and that's why I want to tell all my young homies and people that's working in this shit, watch what you say, because everything is like I was a nigga in the World Star era that took all the arrows. Like, I was the first nigga over the hill that, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, the things I went through don't even reflect it wouldn't be relatable. Like, it would come and go in 2024. But I was the first nigga over the hill. So for me to be in that type of situation and to say that, like, man, like, it was at the point when I did it, I felt dumb. And I ain't gonna lie, like, even in 2024, I feel stupid even saying that too.
Word. Especially since you took down Ghost Mom.
Who? Oh shit, you working. Hey, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's me that man. I need to get on that. Pour another shot, but hold on. We gotta reload on that. Damn.
He said who?
I didn't even understand what you're saying, because I still don't know that. That's in the past life. But in reality, man, I ain't got nothing bad to say about that. I don't even want to like dive into that, because look, this what you don't understand, Dan. So like, we be telling our own story and our life stories and shit like that. And now that I'm older, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm a more seasoned person. And man, we don't even really be knowing how we could affect somebody else's life.
Facts.
So me telling my personal truth and telling my personal story could be a domino effect on somebody else that might have kids, that might have shit going on.
Word.
Or whatever. So I think that when I said a lot of shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's true. It'll be in a book. It'll be in a movie. But like, I don't want to step like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was out of pocket, and being a man, I think that a part of being a man is to be able to admit, like, yo, I was wrong when I said that.
That's dope.
And I know you want me to go crazy.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Remember, I told you I don't care about that stuff, but I do. I'm enjoying having real life.
All that shit is a very memorable moment in my life. Like, I remember, it's like a lot of people don't know. Like, I won't dive into what the specifics on the things, but like, man, like the Archstone in Los Angeles was a fucking legendary complex. Like, Keisha Cole in her heyday lived right here, and my ex-girlfriend lived right here, Drew Sidora, and fucking this on Housewives, and fucking this 3LW lived here, and fucking this person lived here. It was a complex just full in fucking Studio City, full of just everybody that was lit. And shit, you can imagine.
Well, I mean, shit, shout out to 50 Cent Power.
Yeah, shout out to 50.
You know what I mean? Great series.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a great series. That's a great series. In fact, one of my favorites ever.
Yeah, I think everything 50 Cent is creating over there. I watch all the Stars episodes religiously. Shout out Fred Money too, because we be talking shit about them shits all the time. With
yo, Lala is fine though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I could, you know, rerun the Hands of Time.
If I could turn back the hands of time, then my darling you. Oh man, but look, what I respect about you the most.
You really could sing though, low key.
Yeah, I could. I really could.
You like Tony Sunshine right now. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I got kids, right? I do this all the time. Every time I be having a conversation with my son, like it'll turn into a song like mid-sentence, just joking around with him. Okay. Right? I love doing this shit. What I respect about you, one of the biggest reasons I got respect for you is an interesting thing in itself. The fact that you could still create an album with Tink, doing everything that like how do you? Most men in general can't do it. Most women in general can't do it. Right? You're taking a past relationship, but you're still working and creating incredible music. I think that is amazing in itself. How's that dynamic work outside of the music?
Well, you know, shit, just being honest, like this, I mean, not in a good way and in a bad way. Like, you know, it's been like a very interesting, you know what I'm saying, process with me and her. And when we initially started, I looked at myself like a mentor, like, you know what I'm saying, a producer just coming in, you know what I'm saying, a big dog putting shit on. And our relationship evolved and it became more personal than that. And I think that certain lines, for me as a man, like what I could say, you know what I'm saying, like certain lines just kind of got blurred and just crossed up. And like when certain lines get crossed, like it's gonna be hard for me to like come back. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing I know, like once I feel like one party or the other party loses respect for each other, whether it's the man or the woman, the relationship is over. Yeah. So I wouldn't look at it more so like the way I looked at her is like, man, I'm just so ambitious and just so ready to like break an artist. Like, you know, being a producer of my magnitude of where it's like I've worked with everybody. I've sold over 180 million records. I got 18 billion streams. I got motherfucking 30 number ones. Like, I don't even know what it means to like do something and like halfway. So when I work with somebody and I'm executive producing and like I'm negotiating deals and I'm a part of all these different things, whatever, as she said previously, like, bro, we were locked in and I was looking at it like we were locked in on a full level, but at the same token, once certain lines get crossed, I can't really like work with it.
I respect that.
And in reality, and to be honest, like as far as this album, because this album that just dropped, it's like it's a classic for us. Like one of them ones, her most successful project. We got like a bunch of shit going on, but at the same token, like, I'm such a good nigga. Like I feel like, man, like even if like I'm one of them niggas that's like, man, yo, I got so much love for you that even if you know what I'm saying, like gotta go work with somebody else and do something, I just want you to be happy.
I'm still fucking with you.
Yeah, like I ain't in a position to where it's just like, man, like I'm upset or like I'm carrying some type of shit or whatever, but we do got business ties. We do got personal ties. I think that she had a lot of her firsts with me, you know what I'm saying? And I had a couple of my firsts with her as well, you know what I'm saying? Like I really thought that we could see this shit all the way through. But at the same token, man, I'm not crashing out with nobody behind nothing. I'm in the best space of my life ever.
Yeah, I got a question based off that. Like, it seems like you always have this clarity when it comes to the music. Like, where did that come from? And like, those first deals, did any of them execs see your potential as a songwriter, producer, and all that?
Like, people saw the potential. And then to me, like, what I'm saying is that, like, even on a me and Tink level, like we came here because of business. Like we're not just like peers that were like in Chicago together and have a ghetto love story. Like we're here based off the music. So let the music be the music, you know what I'm saying? And if we can't find peace on a personal level within that, then the business should never suffer from what we doing because it's never been like a step back. Like, you know, when I met Tink, she was at a certain level. And shit, when I see her now, she's at another level. And I'm super proud of her. Like, I take nothing back that I ever did or whatever, you know, but at the same token, it's like a lot of niggas aren't in a position that I am. So the story really get turned up to being like, well, normally, I put in all this work as a producer and a writer and the girl took off and left me behind and I feel away and I'm resentment because of this and I'm talking bad about this girl because of that. That ain't our story. I was already up when I met her. Like I was already a multi-millionaire when I met her. So for me investing and putting in and bossing somebody up and giving the game that I gave her, man, I feels bad if we can't continue to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to hurt. Naturally. But at the same token, I'm going to hurt in a McLaren. I'm going to cry home in a McLaren with the door halfway up to my $4 million house that's paid for, that's already, you know what I'm saying? And then I think that the fucking mattress level and the thread count is going to allow me to sleep a little bit better than somebody else. But I do not want to step back from that. I do love her. I do love anybody that I really spent that amount of time with and put that type of energy into.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Most women will make you feel bad about it, right? Yeah. Like you can't.
Yeah.
You spent as men, like women could hate us because we be doing some fucked up shit, right? But as men, we know most of the times we're like, okay, some shit might have went wrong, but I know what I did wrong.
Right.
And I still got love for the girl. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool. Like, you ain't gotta hate everybody. In this generation now, like, I was taught by my mom to not even like hold that hate.
Right.
Right? Like, I don't really hold hate for.
But it's bullshit though, because the people that's doing her interviews, they know it's like, yo, this is your most successful project that you ever did. You work with Timbaland before you work with Hitmaka. Timbaland is one of my biggest influence. I end up linking them back together, her and Timbaland, like down here in Miami, putting them back together after whatever situation they went through. That ain't had nothing to do with me. Like, I'm really like an influential person. But the narrative, instead of saying like, y'all niggas went through whatever y'all went through, and y'all was able to make a classic. Y'all was able to tap in and really, like, as black people, like, we don't want to like put no acknowledgement on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it ain't that the man was wilding out. You know what I'm saying? Because anything that happened publicly between me and her, she was the aggressor in the situation. So I'm just the man that's laying back, you know what I'm saying? And this and the third, and I was able to steal that, but we don't get no flowers for that shit.
Yeah. But that's why I'm saying it. Like, I respect it because it's a dope thing.
Yeah,
right? Like, to be able to still be like, look, it don't matter what happened. I got you. Let's get this. Let's make
I done
this
made
happen.
millions of dollars with this girl. When I met her, she was very successful, but to where we are right now and the things that we did together and the situations that we come together with, like, there's nothing, like, if we look back and when it's all said and done, there's nothing that would happen that was monumental to where, like, overcame or like overshadowed anything that we did musically and financially and business wise.
Now, nothing is more powerful than a woman when they're like on the microphone singing or rapping to you, right? You gotta sit and listen to the music that she's putting out.
Cap.
As
Cap. We write all the songs together.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Hello.
Fire.
We do all the songs together. I'm an executive producer of the album. That's why I be so funny and I be laughing at the narrative that people put up and this, that, and the third. Like, if you go and you candidly, I know that from the era that we all from, credits and like getting a CD and looking and see who wrote the song and produced the song. I produced 15 out of 16 songs on her album.
You catch yourself dissing yourself in any of them?
Of course.
But let's work.
But I mean, I'm put a bigger picture or whatever. If
Nah,
this
that's
what we
dope,
selling,
though,
this what
bro.
the narrative is, this we selling, this how we moving, this how we moving.
Fire.
Let's not hide and do anything or shy away from that. And like, these are like, I'm the nigga that, wait, hold on. This what the funny part is, right? People have created narrative, whatever, based off things that's said, and it's like, yo, like, I'm not no nigga sliding down a wall inside my studio. Once she records the album in my studio, we write the songs together.
I got this.
I produce the songs together.
Slide down the wall.
I mix the songs. I master the songs. I'm I'm the most intricate part of the whole music that we do. I got the features on the project with the exception of whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm when I'm in with you, and we can play on whatever they want to play with. I don't give a fuck about the internet.
That's fine. But what I was really getting at is you don't ever get those moments they're like when a woman's making music, it's like that Cleopatra effect. They're seductive. Right. You don't ever like that music don't ever be almost bringing y'all closer together. No.
Bittersweet.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I just explained to you, when certain lines get crossed, my dick don't even work for you no more.
Facts. I forgive you, but I can't forget.
And when I say that, that's not dealing with Tink or, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
Trinity. Just saying that that's a outline statement just for any woman or any person, or like once you cross me, even like on another level, like if you cross me, I just can't react. You know what I'm saying? The same way. Yeah.
I can't forget. I could get over the moment. We can move past it. We can
Yeah,
continue to
of
make
course.
money together.
Yeah,
but
of course.
what happened. And for me to ignore that,
It's almost like shame on me at that point.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, oh, you knew what, you know what I'm saying?
and now I know moving
I'm
forward.
too old to be doing that shit, bro.
Yeah. Now back to the entrepreneurial side, because you're really doing like incredible work in the industry that most people won't really report on. Right? Like you'll hear about it in the interviews if you get that far into the interview. But one of the things that fascinates me most about life is business.
Right.
Your A&R. Did it start with Empire?
Nah,
Started
no. It started with Atlantic.
Okay, Atlantic. Now I recall you talking about deal when you walked out and you hear somebody else making more money.
Yeah, that was crazy.
What do you feel like? Because you were talking some real shit in that interview. Was it with Angela Yee?
I believe it was with Angie or Breakfast Club or someone.
Yeah, and you were saying about like just being in that position and everybody has to get fucked, basically, in order to make it in the game. You got to kind of feel like, and I feel like that's a real thing that they say that one of the first lessons I learned about business was you're going to have to fail 7 times. Right. So is that really that bad of a thing? Because I'm battling it right now, right? I don't want to sign with nobody. I don't want to fuck with nobody. I want to do my own thing. It's good to have somebody like you here to have this conversation with, because I'm stubborn, right? Like when these deals come through, I'm like, nah, I got my own money. I'll be doing my own thing. I just keep everything by myself. I don't fuck with no sponsors. I don't fuck with nobody right now. It's just me. But like, what is your advice to the people coming up in the game and dealing with that, knowing that you might get fucked on in your first deal?
It's all depend on what you build for. Like, if you I'll do it two ways, pause. Like I'll talk about me. So like at first, like when you're young and you're into the business, you're just looking for funding. So me 20 years ago is not me right now. You know what I'm saying? Like now I'm not looking for funding. So if we put it on the Danza Project, it's like the only thing that I could say that someone can offer you, you know what I'm saying, just from looking out, and what people could offer me, like a manager or another fucking corporation, is like, yo, I'm gonna put you central in location for everybody to come see you. I'm gonna offer you these resources and this, that, and third, or whatever, and I'm gonna fucking foot the bill for everything. And you pay me back whenever you want to pay me back. So when a deal with me, it's like, yo, I'm going to get you a studio in Hollywood. I'm going to have all the clients come through there. And I'm going to fucking, whatever a publishing company could possibly tell me, or never, like, or another, someone could tell you, fuck that shit. Like, yo, bet on yourself. Like, this shit is too accessible. Like, you know, like, the same way we connected, the same way all this shit go on. Like, now if you're just chasing a bag and you don't love this shit, then go get the bag. But if you love this shit and this is the full time, it's like, yo, like the Danza Project, or me being Berg, and me being like, if I thought Hitmaka was just some shit that I was just gonna go get a bag for it, I wouldn't give a fuck about that shit. But like Hitmaka turns into Make It Sound, which is my record company, which is my production company, which is my motherfucking publishing company, which I have all these people signed to me, which 20 people plus all reap the benefits and fucking things that's going on with me. So when you take that leadership position on, it kind of like weighs on you a little bit different. Now, when you by yourself and it's just like, I'm just a rapper or I'm a podcast and I ain't got to pay nobody and this and the third, you might take the short bread. But in reality, you gotta stay the course. Like, I probably would, if nigga would have told me when I was Yung Berg, like in that era or whatever, like, yo, you could wait until you 38 and you gonna be the richest you ever been in your career. You gonna sell all the records. You gonna be a new nigga. It ain't even gonna be the name Yung Berg. And nigga told me that shit at fucking 17, 18. I'm like, what the fuck?
Out of here.
Wait till 38.
So now I'm about to turn 38. I've sold more records than all these other people. I got more business ventures going on. I got all these other people in my fucking wheelhouse and everything that's going on. It's unbelievable. But it take the wherewithal to be able to see that through. A lot of people 1 foot in, 1 foot out in this shit.
Yeah, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Shout out Benny the Butcher.
Shout out Benny.
But you're somebody that has been able to make it throughout all this, and I think that's inspiring in itself. Like when we're talking to the person who we're talking to, that's sitting down with right now, is a legend, ladies and gentlemen. Like we can sit there. A lot of people use that word legend, but look. First off, there's different categories of it, right? This dude checks all the boxes.
It gotta be documented,
right? Like this is all the way back. Like we got shows with people. We get shows with people all the time, right? Like dope people. You tell like the youth about this person, they might not know him. You tell, somebody that like kick it with every day, yo, I got this person coming up. Most people know who you are, right? Like it's not a difficult conversation to have. I don't have to have that explanation process where it's like this. I'll just be like, if you don't know, just hit Google and hit me right back.
Like this.
You know what I mean? Oh, I remember him from this, or I remember him from this. But like, people know who you are. You've done a lot of work in the industry. What does a day in life look like for you now? Being an entrepreneur, doing all the music, like how does life look like for you now?
As far as my other businesses go, outside of music, I have a whole like great team that handles everything for me and like puts everything together. And I'm just an overseer and a funder into it. And my life is just 3,000% just music. I'm the co-CEO of Make It Sound Records. We have 4 artists signed to us. I executive produce multiple albums a year. I've song deals with every company in the music business.
Let's go.
I've been executive at every company in the business, damn near like at least 4 of them.
Let's go.
As far as consulting deals and this, that, and the third or whatever, joint ventures everywhere. And then deeper than that, the normal day for me is like, this is a normal day for me. I wake up probably like 7 a.m. I live in a dope community. I go out. I don't know if y'all got that shit. I got like the steps thing or whatever. Like, the little apps that be on your phone or whatever. Yeah. I go do like 12,000 steps, you know what I'm saying? Which turn into like 5 miles in the morning or whatever. But I just walk. I literally turn on a podcast, whether it's your podcast or somebody else's podcast. I walk through my community for probably like 4 laps. That's like 5 miles. I go get dressed and I go to the studio at 4 o'clock. I work until I'm tired and I go back to the house and I do it every day. Still right now at the level I am right now, and I work 6 days a week. And the only day that I don't go in the studio is Sunday.
Could you ever see yourself falling out of love with that?
No. I'm still gonna make music everywhere I go. But at the same token, probably being more invested with being like a hot guy, you know what I'm saying? Or just being one of the guys or whatever, like, or taking a hiatus, like that's a different level, like I think that only comes for people that like. That was my whole point with wanting to break Tink and break an artist, because when you have an artist like a Summer Walker or a Tink or a Drake or these different type of people, whatever, like you really can just. Here's a prime example: when Ray Shremmer were at their prime, and Mike Will broke them. Mike Will could just make a Ray Shremmer album whenever he wanted to. It didn't matter if like he worked with everybody in the game, because he knew he was gonna do like platinum. He had a A-list artist behind him. If whoever SZA works with or this, that, and third or whatever, like they don't have to work with everybody and spread themselves so thin. Yeah. They can go live their life and live their personal life, because when it's time and they have that loyalty to SZA and they lock back in, they're going to make a body of work, which I think the best way to describe it is Boy Wonder and Drake's relationship. So Boy Wonder doesn't have to work with everybody. Right. Because he's so embedded into Drake's career, he did Best I Ever Had to everything that we talking about right now to 15 years later. So when Drake taps back in, he's going to fuck with Boy Wonder. And essentially, Boy Wonder, Drake is not signed to Boy Wonder, but I was looking for a collaboration where the artist is signed to my company, a la Ray Shremmer, Mike Will, a la Top Dog, TDE. You know what I'm saying? Just those type of situations. QC, you know what I'm saying? Like that makes it different for me as a producer. I don't have to go work with everybody, because I know like such and such is dropping this year, blah, 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 and we gonna do our numbers.
Now, you being in the music industry so long, you got a lot of knowledge of things, right? On a recent interview, you were speaking of reference tracks. Yeah. And revealing the writers behind these tracks. Did you receive any backlash for doing that?
No, nigga, everybody know I'm me. Nobody gives a fuck about what I say. Every person that's an artist that works with me knows I'm me and don't give a fuck. Like, when you come work with me, you coming to work with me. Like, they know that I'm someone that's like I'm a character as well as y'all. So me saying anything I said, like, the truth can never be disrespectful. And I didn't disrespect nobody. When I work with an artist, whether a rapper and a thing to that nature, whatever, like French Montana, Big Sean, where I presented those hooks or whatever. Like, you bring any fucking artist a hook. Like, and not only that, anybody that's ever worked with me knows that I don't play beats. I don't make beats. I make hit records.
Hello.
I play the song.
Hitmaker.
The song
I wish
is
we had
done.
the tag.
Yeah.
The song is done when I play it for you. It's on you to not use the verse
Facts.
as a rapper and go remake it and do that. I don't give a fuck. The song is done.
So
It's a hit when I played it for you.
where did you learn that from? Is it like a producer that took you under the wing a little bit, or did you just peep business, and like where did that come from?
Of course, I learned it from a lot of producers. If you look at Pharrell, Swiss Beats, different people like that, like on to the next one, on to the next one. Like, I'm sure he sent that to Hov with the hook on it. Pharrell wrote all them records, you know what I'm saying, and gave it to them people. Like, this is just natural. Jermaine Dupri wrote all them, nigga, he wrote Confessions. What the fuck are we talking about?
Crazy. From JD. Come on.
Confessions.
When you listed them earlier too, you said JD, Pharrell, and
Yeah.
Ye. These are producers. These are people that, not just artists. They might dabble. You might hear a verse here and there, but they are producers. They are about the music first.
Yeah.
First.
I mean, even when I used to teach, right? You was talking about the distinction between the producer and the beat maker. I would always relate it to movies. So like in the music world, the producer is like the director of the film. They're responsible for the overall vision. Now they could be the cameraman, they could be the editor, they could be all kind of stuff, but they still responsible for the overall vision. So same thing with like the producer versus a beat maker. A producer can hire all type of beat makers and be like, all right, we're gonna put this together, but it's his overall vision. I feel like that's like the main.
Yeah, that's the truth. It only happens like that when a producer gets big or whatever, and somebody like looks at it. It's just like, and I'm a flashy nigga, so like it just come with all that shit, whatever's going on. Like it kind of comes with the game. To me, it's like I look at making a record like a NFL team. I'm the coach. I might have the offensive line coach. I got the fucking the wide receiver coach. Yeah, I got this, that, and third. My engineer might be this person. You know what I'm saying? We all line up and we get on the same page, but we all on the same accord to make the same mission happen. Oh. The shit when it gets weird is that egos. Everybody bro. Every producer's not a star.
Right.
And every star is not a producer.
So I was gonna ask you, does the artist, your artist ego, get in the way of a producer's responsibilities ever?
Fuck no. I'm like one of the most selfless niggas ever.
Because it might not be a problem for you, but as a guest in your home, in your house, and I hear your track and your music and the way you want it, and I have my own artistic integrity, I might come in and be like, okay, that's cool, but I want this to be my song. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't give a fuck as long as shit a hit and like you made it better. I don't give a fuck,
lost.
Nigga. I don't care if a crackhead came in and stumbled in here in a Danza Project and told us that something was going wrong with this shit. I'll be like, I adjusted and be like, oh, if it was for the greater good or whatever the record is, that's what a real producer is.
Word.
As long as the record, like as long as I deliver the label and I deliver the artist and everyone a product that they're happy about, I don't give a fuck what happened. I don't care if the songwriter was smoking fucking crack, or nigga was fucking in the bathroom, or this, that, and third, or how we had to make this shit happen. Like, we made it happen, and I'm delivering it, and it's a hit.
Gotcha. Word. The greater good.
Orlando, I'm gonna say this to you, right?
Right.
You be coming off like Vlad sometimes, like not like in a good way, because Vlad got like some hate, but like you be doing some dope shit. You better not ever try to make your own podcast. I'm gonna have you fucking.
I mean, if I do, it'll be on the Danza Network.
Yeah, okay. It's being an assassination.
Okay, respect that.
Be an assassination attempt. Sorry.
It's on camera now. Okay? We got you.
But yo, much the way this interview went and is going, I knew it was gonna be dope, right? Like, we had somebody had reached out to you before. I told you about this when I shot you.
Who was that though?
I ain't gonna put their names.
No,
he asked.
My boy Fred Money, DJ Thorough too. I don't know if you know who they are. We be having them talk to people. They talk to people that talk to people that be like, yo, we got this person.
They
might
have been somebody that was speaking to me well, speaking for me or something like
Well,
that.
yeah, it was.
I don't
And
know. Who was that person?
I don't know.
I don't have a manager.
All I had was my person reaching out, right?
Yeah, I don't
And
have
that's
a
Fred
manager or nothing like that.
And we put the list out. They're like, we could a possibility to get these people out here, because I don't know, you were out here doing something that specific day, and I know you stay out here and shit. But he was like, yo, could you imagine that episode? You know what I mean? Now we're going back 30, 40 episodes, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, nah, that shit'd be crazy.
Word.
And now he sat there and he broke it down a million different ways of how fire it could be. And then all these things start finally happening.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And it's organic, which I love that more than anything. You know what I mean? I think you just liked the post.
No,
or you
can I
followed
be
us,
honest?
right?
I think I seen something and I followed y'all.
Woody.
And then, I seen it. And in the most respectful way, I liked how y'all interviewed him. I think it gave him a different way for him to speak. And no matter how I feel about the situation or whatever, like I heard it and I thought it was dynamic and I thought that we should speak.
Dope.
Fire.
That's dope. That's what I love about this shit. That's what I'm saying. I love this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Moments,
I'm
man.
talking to my boy earlier, and he's like, yo, if we all sat down 20 years ago and we were like, what is Megs gonna end up being? And somebody said that you were talking shit on a podcast, that shit would make perfect sense. You know what I mean? Like, that's always who you were. He was like, you were doing that shit on MySpace, bro. You know what I mean? And that's who I was. But like, always trying to just keep it 100, right? And you're somebody that you just mentioned how you're yourself and you like keeping it 100 through everything. Recently, you mentioned with the Maino situation, and Maino responded back saying what he said. Do you regret talking about it?
No. I mean, to be honest, like to where I'm at with it, it's like everybody got their own outlook on things or like perception of what those things was. So my perception didn't align with his. And fucking the way I looked at it didn't align with it. But at the same token, I don't have no like issues with nobody. Like, and maybe the way it went out because the way I'm saying it and like I'm speaking with Ack or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I think that Ack also is someone that's like involved with the bullshit too, you know what I'm saying? So a minute clip could get misconstrued or this and the third, but like, no. That's just something that happened in my life that wasn't like a really big issue or whatever. Everything I said, in my personal opinion, was my perspective.
Yeah.
Word.
It's my truth. His truth won't be my truth. And it ain't no beef behind that. Like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, like I just said, I'm about to turn 38. That nigga in his 40s. Like, we ain't gotta go back and forth. And I didn't mean it with no like disrespect to ignite or nothing like that. Like,
it didn't come off like that.
Yeah, which I think was blatantly obvious, right? Like, I think that
Angela Yee went and did and tossed that up and did whatever she wanted to do with that. But I mean, she's been monumental in a few things that y'all said that were highlights in my career to where people bring things up. But I think as a man and just on a man level, I was speaking my perspective. My perspective is my perspective. And his perspective is his perspective. So, I mean, ultimately, we can agree to disagree, or we can agree that this all some bullshit and we shouldn't be talking about it because you in your 40s and I'm closer to be 40. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nigga, don't get no fuck about that shit. I've been around that brother. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even like, that's for like lame niggas. That's for street niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, the bigger conversation is like, man, y'all, he was on a remix to Business and you went on to make a bunch of great records. You know what I'm saying? Like, these little small, minute things stop us from, you know what I'm saying, progressing as people. The same thing that we was talking about with previous examples or whatever. But I don't care, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I look at the situation is like, not saying that, I mean, life is not a competition, but if it was, you fucking won, bro.
Hey, man, listen. That's for the women to say, not us. And not even that, I'm not even putting that on bro. Like, cause I ain't in competition.
Yeah.
He's like an OG to me.
Yeah.
He's an older nigga and an OG to me. I'm not in competition with my OGs. Yo,
Yeah.
for real. I got mad love for him. You know what I'm saying?
Respect for you.
Yeah.
Like looking at it that way. I was talking to my boy, right? I was talking to my boy Sam. I always talk to him about like the shows I got and shit like that. He's like, bro, we spent an entire, he's like, you realize we spent an entire summer. Like we used to have the boat parties and everything. And he was like, it was always, hey, sexy lady.
Come on.
And I was like, it is crazy because it really was that impactful of a record. That's kind of where like everybody got to, like my girl, I'm talking to my
I think
girl.
The Business is a more impactful record than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I think that if we talk about deeper than that, Sexy Canna is about to be diamond. Wow. Like, how do I have a record with Ray J that's 9 million records sold?
It's crazy.
That's unbelievable. That's
crazy.
Like, I hated that song. Like, I literally recorded the song here and I hated the song.
You know why you hate the song? Because you hear it a million times.
Nah, I hated the demo. I hated like everything about it. When I put the whole song together, because it was sent to me, it was just like Ray J rapping for like singing for like 4 bars. Then a song plays for like 2 minutes and then he sings again. So I kind of like turned it into a record and I hated it.
It's so sincere.
But
That's
you
a
gotta
real
be
hate.
proud because you know, like you said, you put your spin on it and made it a record.
Ain't that how it usually happens though?
Truthfully, it does and it doesn't. But at the same token, how could you hate something that's 9 million? So like niggas would be like,
Yeah, I hate it if you
Yung
want.
Berg, one hit wonder. You a one? I'm like, wait, bro.
Little do they know.
Yeah.
I got a record that, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, like as a producer, like I've smoked like I'm not attached to no big artist. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm attached to big artists, but let's not ever fuck it up. Shout out to all the big artists that I'm attached to, but it's not like I'm not just like a caveat. Like I don't come with the big art pause. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't show up as gang with whoever the big artist is at the time, the same way I was DMX's artist. I'm not a producer to where it's just like, yo, that's such and such producer. No, like I'm my own little vibe within my vibe, and I've been able to make it happen.
Nah, I'm talking to my girl earlier, and I'm like the playlist. My girl loves Chris Brown.
Yeah,
She probably paid the 11 to go take a picture.
I ain't gonna lie. Me and Chris Brown, we might be like, as far as like artists that's A-list artists, like man, like I ain't gonna lie, we've run it up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I kind of see the similarities because, like, I feel like with Chris Brown, the way his hooks are, everybody got a song with him. Everybody got to come see him.
Yeah, but he's
and same thing with your beat.
hits.
Like, everybody got to come see you.
I think our first one
Y'all
was
got some hits.
Party. Our first one that was like a real hit was Party with him and Gucci Mane and Usher. That's probably like 2016, and it's just been a slew of shit everywhere.
That's you writing most of it?
Right. Well, me and my partner Chris Sean is writing and producing. We do everything.
Right.
So it's like to right now, the Healing Energy, the 1111 record or whatever it's like, to then to now.
I think my favorite collab is the Ty Dolla Sign.
Which one?
Everything
we do?
Him in general, yeah.
Oh no, we do everything. Like, I mean, shout out to Ty Dolla Sign. We got a record right now called "Do It" with Kanye, Ty Dolla Sign, Nipsey Hussle, and YG. Top 20 record right now on the radio. Like, this shit go on and on and on. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like he's one of the most slept on in the industry. Like he's got his name is out there, but I still think he's slept
I think
on.
he's one of the
That
best.
free TC was crazy.
I think he's one of the best, bro.
Absolutely.
How did you meet Ray J?
I was a fan because he was fucking a lot of bitches.
Straight up.
And
Straight up.
and I got my deal and fucking shout out to my dog Billy J. He ended up introducing us and he got on the record on my EP. And this when I had Sexy Lady, and he came back and was like, "Hey, yo, Berg, I got the sexy lady. You know, you got the sexy lady, Berg. But, you know, the sexy Can I got this record called Sexy Can I. It's a movement, you know, like we could be big, you know, sexy, you know. I'm like, yo, nah, like I'm not really into that. You know,
At that time,
I felt like I was gonna be the sexiest nigga. Long story short, they gave me the record. I was here in Miami. I was with my brother at the time, Billy, and my brother Cap at the time, which I'm not close with neither one of them or whatever. But at the same token, like we went and this back when Wet Willie's was popping. I think that we walked from like the Lowe's Hotel to Wet Willie's. And fucking got some collar cabs, and we had the beat, and we just threw some bars around and just fucked around. And I went back to Circle House Studio, the same studio that I got the A room up today. And I did the verse, and it's 9 times platinum. And then I reconstructed the record and redid it. And then fucking we finished it in LA. Shout out to Lil Kim, who was a co-writer on that record. Shout out to
you get all like that. You I feel like you know a lot about the industry that just overly. Overly. It's like a fucking
That's what I'm telling you. This shit a movie, bro. I'm telling you, like.
I know. I didn't know as much until I started hitting the Google search button, right? And I'm like, damn, wait, how he's doing? Oh.
That's why it's got to be funny for somebody to be like, oh, Yung Berg, okay, I don't. That one, like you said, one hit wonder, and it's like, little do you know,
this nigga is the rap Quincy Jones.
Come on, man.
In reality, don't nobody give a fuck about none of that shit, because in reality, bro, like, it's all about taking care of yourself, taking care of people, and being healthy, and you know what I'm saying, and doing the right things in life. And all that shit is irrelevant.
Do you kind of, maybe not resent, maybe that's not the right words, but do you kind of resent the tracks you gave away, like Bastard Children? Versus the ones you know what I mean?
Hell nah, because I'm going to go tomorrow and do it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep
confident.
Keep printing. That's how you gotta be.
Nobody got more hits than me. Like, we can call every fucking executive out there, any A&R, all you puss-ass niggas that got a job that ain't really cool with me or whatever. Like, I don't want to say nothing bad about y'all, but in reality, niggas don't ever want to have an auxiliary chord challenge with me. Not no producer in the game. Not no A&R, nobody. Like, I'm overly confident, and nobody has just more hits in their phone that haven't came out that are going to turn into hits than me. And we can just dead it on that.
You did this before, right? You called out Mustard.
Right.
And Mustard said, you must be high. You ain't got no chance. Okay. Now he puts out a record like Not Like Us. When you think about, like...
Did he put that record out?
Well, I mean, Kendrick put the record out, but I hear you.
You gotta be.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about from a producer standpoint.
Yeah.
I think that I'm a better producer than him. I've made a bunch of different records with him. I've been a producer that was literally like under his banner. And like, if you look back and go to, if bro want to pull up Mustard album, his first album, I put Nicki Minaj on his album. Him and Nicki Minaj had a relationship. She wasn't working with him. I put her on this album. We got a plaque for that. Fucking John Legend. I did like 5-6 songs on that album. We had a great relationship. What really happened was, with me doing that, he went and did some regular producer shit when you working with a nigga that's not as big as you, pause. He took a record that I had, and it's called Whatever You Need. It's a Meek Mill record featuring Chris Brown and Dolla Sign. I did the song, did the demo. He took the record. It was something I gave to him. We ended up not vibing with each other. He reproduced the record and the song came out. But it was my hook that I wrote on it or whatever. But he wasn't good with me. So it wasn't on him to tell me that.
Yeah. And
that's what kind of started us having a bad vibe for each other.
So right there, you could just be like, they not like us. You know what I mean?
I think in reality, though, like, he got a lot of respect for me. He got a lot of love for me. Like, he can understand, like, this where I'm at with it. Like, I'm really one of them. Like, there's no nigga in the producer lane or anybody, and I don't want to disrespect nobody or whatever. Like, I work with everybody. I'm not just no nigga that just single myself out and put myself in a corner. But in reality, there's no nigga in this music industry, no A&R, no executive, none of that shit that wants to go inside the studio and let me do what I want to do for 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, and come out with something like that. I will fuck these niggas up. I'm the best in the game.
Took me at a loss for words right here, but like now being a businessman, stand beside yourself for a second, and who would you put yourself up against to make a dope moment, record for record?
Oh, I would like Mustard. I would like London on the track. It would have to be somebody that I make a lot of R&B and I make a lot of rap too, so someone that could be parallel to that. But more than anything, man, like, I got a lot of respect for all these different people. Like, me being jaded and feeling like, man, the world ain't get Yung Berg is just dude, nigga. Don't mean that I'm mad at you, nigga. I collaborate with all these niggas. I don't give a fuck. And I'm not a star fucker, so I'm not fucking your bitch. I don't want none of the bitches that you got. I don't want none of that. Like, I'm goofy. I'm all the way off the radar with that.
You mentioned in one of those interviews how the difference, right, of like linking up with a girl that got her bag versus linking up with one of them that doesn't, and the pros and cons to it. What do you prefer in a queen?
I don't know. I'm still opening myself up and understanding what I really want, but I think accountability probably would be number one on the list for me.
Good answer.
On what level?
Good answer.
Whatever level.
So what do you feel like you've obviously took down a lot of them, right? You probably got an all-star list. You took down a lot of
I ain't gonna
joints
lie,
that most
I'm up
people
there.
want. Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm done.
What do you notice most about being somebody of your stature, dealing with these women, and what you got to deal with in a relationship?
I mean, one bad girl makes it worse for 10 other women out there. So, and I think that one bad man makes it bad for 10 other men out there. So I'm just working and focused on trying to be a better nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, to where, like, I know how jaded I am. And I know what come with this shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to just be a better person than anybody I interact with, for real, for real. Do I have a favorite record?
Yeah, favorite record or favorite experience or
I think one of my favorite records is probably Nicki Minaj featuring Jeremiah Favorite. That's one of my favorite records. And then Big Sean Bounce Back is one of my favorite records.
Numbers.
I ain't gonna lie, like, I got so many songs out here. Bro, we talking to somebody that had, like, respectfully, like 137 placements last year. So, like, think about do the numbers on that. Even if I'm selling a beat for at the least $20,000 and I've had 137 placements last year, what that mean? And I sold my catalog last year, a portion of it.
How does that work?
Yeah, we had to talk with Vlad about that. He was basically saying that, like, at this point in time, there's almost like a bubble with people's catalogs. So it's like the best time to sell catalogs. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I sold it at the right time. In reality, I don't have to make no music no more. It's really like, fuck niggas. But at the same token, love this shit so much, man. Like, I'll never stop.
Okay.
So just 2 seconds ago, I'm outside. And I'm like, if I were to rewind the hands of time.
Okay.
Right? Like, I saw my hairline. I hit up one of the people. I'm like, should I do it? And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that shit, right? Talking about rewind.
Right.
I see that Terror Squad
Yeah, shout out to
chain on the neck. What's your relationship like with Fat Joe?
To be honest with you, like, he always been like a fucking legend to me in the game, and I think that probably 5 years, around all the way up time, I was able, that album that he did with Remy, this back when like 6ix9ine was out or whatever. Like I came in Cool and Dre studio like a fucking wrecking ball, and Fat Joe was in there and he was working on the record, and I'm like, yo, tell the engineer get the fuck up. I got the engineer get the fuck up. I told my engineer to sit down. I went and reworked a record that he was working on, which turned into being called Yes, featuring Fat Joe, featuring Cardi B and Unwell. And that was the first record I did, the first plaque that we got together. And then from there, like I was like, yo, I want to get paid. Like buy me a Terror Squad chain. Fuck this. I'm family. I don't want no producer fee. So he bought me a chain, and then I went and revamped the chain with it. Shout out to Pristine. I'm sorry about that.
That's cool.
And one of the most memorable points of that whole relationship was New Year's Eve, probably I think maybe 2020 COVID era. And it was like me, Diddy, Khaled, Fat Joe, Future. We were all at Khaled's house. And the nigga Fat Joe was like, yo, when it comes to this producer shit, there's Diddy, there's DJ Khaled, and now it's Hitmaka.
Word.
And that's what it is.
In his voice, that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Joe has always held me down. And shout out to and salute to Joe. He got a new project coming out. We got a record on there. I was able to get Dolla Sign on, and I'm super happy.
Joe, you asked me earlier, like the breakthrough moments of the podcast. Joe was one of them.
Okay, dope.
Not even just in the effect of the show.
Okay.
More so the effect of telling people we got a podcast. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah.
When we say we had Fat Joe on, they're like, oh, we could go up there.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
Actually,
Fat
yeah.
Joe is one of the greatest people in the music business because in reality, if you're dope, he's gonna let people know you're dope.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't do that.
That's a good
It
point.
reminds me of like Busta Rhymes with that.
Shout out to Busta Rhymes. He's another big brother or whatever. Shit, if Flip Mode was going crazy, I probably have a Flip Mode chain too.
Yeah.
That's my brother.
Now I've been around and I've seen it, right? Like Busta Rhymes will make you feel like you're a king. Like really.
And that's what's so unfortunate about a lot of this shit in the music industry because like someone that has so much a lineage and just goes so crazy, he'll make you feel like a king, and then somebody that's just like a new flash in the pan motherfucker might rub you the wrong way, especially in your podcast. You know what I'm saying? Situation too. And me being as a producer. I just don't give a fuck, bro. Like a lot of people care. Like I don't give a fuck. Like you play with me, it's up. Like you know what I'm saying? Like even when like producers play with me or whatever and get this saying or whatever, like I just let like I'm so past ego and just the things of that nature. But I will really rap and flame these niggas. Like I will really like I'm still a rapper. Like I really use every resource I have and call Fabulous and tell them to give me every fucking bar of life, nigga, and fuck you niggas up. But at the same token,
that's top tier right there. You talking about Fab,
man. But like, think about like how far we came. Think about everything we talked about in this interview. Like, man, like I'm one of the ones. Like I'm one of like I just got an anointing on me. Like I ain't saying that like I'm the best nigga in the world. You know what I'm saying? A programming beats. I'm the best nigga in the world. This and the third. I take and I build off of everybody. But at the same token, I am the best at getting the job done. Period.
We're in Miami. Prime 112.
Yeah.
You and Jim Jones got
nah.